Hey guys, so in the last video I just noted that we're going to be dealing with client and API. So I like to deal with data first, so that means the API first. So we need to have some way to kind of display some data. So I thought maybe CRUD might be the best way to do that. And what we're going to do is I think we already have a users table, I believe, already built out with an email and a password. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to create some CRUD for that user and password. So the very first thing we need to do is have an authentication. So our authentication for our API is that auth login, I believe. Yeah, it's auth login. So let's go ahead and go to that route, and our auth login route right here, which we tested before. Unless somebody has a valid username, it's just not going to work, right? So let's go ahead and run our Docker Compose up like so. Docker Compose up, run our services, and now we're going to install a cool little application. Hold on. Oh, I have a work message. I'm sorry, I have to take care of this. Sorry about that, guys. Duty calls. So one of the great tools I think to use is Postman. So I'm going to go ahead and install that. I believe I can get it through. I'm going to have to go through the website, but I believe I can get it from here. Postman. Yes, there it is. Oh, that is not the official project. We're not going to do it because I don't know who made that. We're going to go get their official project. So, Postman, API development. Let's go ahead and download the application, and we are on Linux, 64-bit. So download. Give it just a moment here. Okay, fine. There we go. Oh my gosh, that'll be a few minutes. I'm going to pause the video. That's going to take way too long. I'm just going to get the Google extension. I don't want to wait for that. So we'll get the web store extension. This will be a lot faster. Add to Chrome. Yep, add app. Checking, and adding, and there it is. A lot faster, huh? So, I don't need, I just want to run the app. So I love Postman. I use Postman all the time. It's probably one of my favorite tools for API work. So, our address for our server is port 8000. So let's do http://localhost 8000, and we'll check the health route. Get server is healthy, and you'll see that we actually got the logging out here. So let's go ahead and log in. So we'll use a post to auth login, and then we're going to add our body xform URL encoded, email. I believe it was nick@mail.com, and then password just pass, I think. It wasn't anything fancy. Username, credentials not found. A password. Oh, I can't remember what it was. Just a second. I cannot remember. So we're just going to build a new one, because I cannot remember what it was. So tools, password.go, and we'll just do test. Oh, wasn't that what it was? Permission denied. Oh yeah, go run tools, passwords, of course, and then we'll do test. Okay, grab that value. MySQL, pass, use, Golang, update users, set password equal to this value. We're not going to bother with any where statements because, well, there's only one user and it doesn't matter. Normally, you'd obviously have a where statement there. Docker compose, Docker file compose. And then we're up. And there we go. Okay. So it was test, I believe, was the value there. So let's go ahead and do test and send. There we go. and we got an auth token. Okay, so we should be able to use that to hit our API route. So we'll go here, we'll say HTTP localhost 8000, and we'll do v1 health and header x app token with our value, and v1 routes are active. So it successfully authenticated and got through the route. So let's go ahead and test it. We'll just make sure we just test it real quick by removing some of the authentication. Send, and we should get an error parsing token. So our authentication is working. Good to go. Okay, so now we need to basically replicate that in the client. So let's go ahead and do that. So with the client, so there's a couple things that go on with Vue CLI. One of the things is environments. So you actually need to have this environment file here and we're going to just start with the development environment. So there's actually 3 levels to it. So there's a .env file, which everything, you don't need that. Everything in .env is included. And then there's a mode, basically modifier at the end of the file. So development, like so. And that's the mode. And then .local is not included in push-ups. So basically, you have a .env, which all environments have, and then a .development or .production that are for those specific modes, and then the .local is ones that you want to have for local environments, but you don't want to push up to, like, say, GitHub, which we're going to use in GitHub. So for our env.development here, we need to have a URL for our server. So let's do view app node env is development. And then we want to have our base URL, so view app base URL equals HTTP localhost 8000. Isn't that right? Localhost 8000. And in fact, we can actually cheat and do API. Well, we'll talk about that here in a minute. Let's go ahead and avoid that. The networking. So you can actually use this name in networking for the service, but I'll go over that here in a minute. Let's just get this up and running first. Okay. We actually need to have a cookie name for our application. So we'll say cookie name, and we're going to just call this learning. Okay. Well, we'll do Docker compose for now. Well, we'll just call our cookie name learning. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into our source file over here. We'll go into our main.js, and we can actually see that stuff when we build. So console log process.env. So we'll save that. Go into our Docker compose. We'll close it, run it again, and once it runs, we will click into our service. Hit F12, go to console, and we should see, where did that go? Did that not build? Localhost 8080, go. And we should be seeing that. Hold on a second. Okay, I forgot to add the -- build. So Docker Compose won't build a project unless you add the -- build. Won't rebuild the project, it'll just use the existing image. So add -- build on there, and then it'll rebuild your client with your code changes. And just a moment here while it builds. Okay. And now you can refresh, and we'll see that in this object here we have our environment. So we have access to that URL there, and also our cookie name and the node development. So one of the things you're going to notice is there's this view app underscore here. I find that incredibly annoying, but if you go here and let's say you remove that view app and you try to pass in just an environment variable like so, watch what happens. And I'm going to show you how to, so you don't have to rebuild the service here in just a little bit, but I'm just showing you how this works. Okay, so rebuild our client. And copying, come on. And it is running a little slow today. Okay, we'll refresh. And we'll see F12. You'll see that it's not included at all because Vue actually looks for this Vue underscore app, which I think for myself, I do not like that. I think it's very, I don't like it at all. But that is the state of it. That's how it works. So if you don't like that, well, that's just how Vue CLI does it. But it seems completely unnecessary to me. I think you should be able to pass in whenever you want. But that's just how it works. I just want to let you know that's how it works. So anyway, so there we go. Now we have the data we need to access our API. And I'm gonna stop this video right now, and I will see you in the next video.